Hey, I'm D Revolution. I've written 4 screenplays, 3 books. I'm an award-winning poet, and I want to give you some good advice on how to write your book and get fans and go through the process of the storytelling process. I got some good news and I got some bad news. The bad news is it's not easy. It's not going to be easy, so don't expect it to be easy. But you can make it easier. The good news is writing a great story is going to do half the work for you. But nobody knows it's a great story until they buy the book. But once people start to buy your book and they like your story, they would definitely come back and buy the second book if you're going to write more than one. That's the cool part, is that's how you're going to really build your fans and your readers, by writing a good book. And how you write a good book is not cutting any corners, making sure you're keeping the reader engaged, not getting stuck on the idea. Make sure that the reader understand where they're going. They can only go where you take them. And in order to write a good story, you have to understand the elements of writing and telling the story. Because telling the story is an art form within itself. So you're going to need an antagonist, you're going to need a protagonist, you're going to need a subplot. These are certain things that you need to tell an effective story. If you're going to tell a story about your life, this is where a lot of people get confused at. Everybody talks to me all the time. I'm thinking about writing a book about my life and things like that, and that's fine. But there still has to be a storytelling element to that. Most people think they're just going to sit down and tell the things that happened to them and the things that they've been through. And the thing is that when you do that, and you write a book and you're just reading certain events that happen to a certain person, it's not going to be a good book. You have to tie those events into a bigger picture. I didn't just go through this, but I achieved this because I went through this. And take them on a journey, but at the same time telling them your story. Most people, I was talking to this one guy who said that to me, that he was thinking about writing a book about his life, and I tried to explain to him that he would still need to tell a story about his life. He was like, no, I got this, I'm going to do it this way. And, I mean, right then and there, in my opinion, he failed, before he even got started. Because, when you watch a documentary, think about a book like your story, like a documentary. A good documentary is going to break it down to you, the elements, going to tell you what could have been if it was done this way. They're going to take you on the journey. A bad documentary is just going to have people in the camera talking, and eventually you're going to cut it off because people just talking, but they're not really engaging you. So when you decide to write a bio story, understand that you still have to tell a story, and you still have to give the reader some hope that they're going somewhere and they're going on a journey. And you have to figure out how to tell your story without just talking about different events that happen to you, because they can get boring after a few pages. This happened to me, that happened to me, but it happened to you, and then what happened? It happened to you and you learned what? That's how you start to engage your readers, about, if you tell your story, you engage your readers by saying what happened to you and what you learned from it, and and where you was trying to go and where you at now. That's going to be more engaging. Say, oh, this happened to me, that happened to me, this happened to me, oh yeah, this happened to me. That can be very boring. So understand that we all feel like we have a story to tell when we want to talk about our life and different things that we've been through. But you must still have a beginning, a middle, and an end. There has to be a beginning of how the thing started with you. There has to be a middle, and there has to be an end on where you're trying to go in life and where you think your story is at right now. And that's going to be more inspirational and more accepting to the reader. So just remember that when you write a story about your life. I'm D Revolution. Like and subscribe to my page. I'm going to be giving some great advice on writing and what to do and what not to do when it comes to selling your book and things like that. But you have to like, subscribe, and hit the notification button to follow me. Thank you, guys.